So, big raining when we start, that means it's very good omen and something we celebrating that year is past, you know. So why celebrating year is past? Because human beings, or not only the human beings, any beings, every day go through a million conditions of death because all of them is not visible for us. But people stuck with only just COVID, you know. So these 3 years is very good reflection. How people stuck a small narrow view. There is much more chance than much more chance to die more than COVID. Many things everybody has, but always thinking COVID. And made huge effort, the whole world. So that shows we always mistake because we are always look too narrow, and we always stuck in a small narrow view. So that's why we mistake, because we don't see the whole thoughts. And do anything, I'm not talking about the COVID restriction or we are obsession of the COVID, but is everything we are fixed along the way. So that's why the most of our sufferings and challenges we created ourselves, you know. But we don't see that way. We see is something come from outside, and we always something to blame. But it just it's not that. It's mostly 90% of them we just created. When I say 90%, something visible we created, but also the rest of the percentage we created long time ago. So that's why we don't see this time we created. Something come from others. Yeah. So we. So for us today, good omen to rain when we start talking. So second thing, then we have the opportunity to think about, reflect the year and how we make more meaningful the next year. So that means everything we did good things in this year, and we got to be very happy, and we should be happy and pride and dedicate. Dedicate means this make foundation to make even better in the future. That's one thing we to reflect. Second thing is, if we did think, oh, we did wrong this, we didn't do not so good, then we take our learned lesson. Oh, I learned from mistake, so I can do better. Always think that way, and do that way, and follow that way. Not just know but don't care. Don't follow our actions, but we follow with action. Okay. Now, okay, then what is good and what is bad? How you distinguish? Because different people have different views. How you distinguish? If you can take that, then we have to simplify. Very easy. You need something there. Conchina.
Is this? Do you want to give it to us?
Okay. Okay. Everybody hear me, right? Even hell. High yell. High yell. Wow. Okay, so we have to try talk because online people, I hope they hear it. So, good and bad, yeah, different people have different view, how you distinguish. Simple, you have to think a simple way. Anything, your actions, activities, make yourself happier, then is manifold. Okay? Only that, not only that. If you can make other people happier, benefit in many ways, not only happiness, but in any case to benefit others, then also meaningful. So, okay. Then we have to think about Okay, how can we benefit others other than happiness? And how can make meaningful on our life rather other than be happier? Either you directly become happier or you making causal conditions for happiness, either yourself or others, for long term or for short term. They all count are meaningful. That means included making you suffer for temporarily, but if that will result to benefit oneself or others, then it's meaningful. So that means not always chasing happiness. Not always avoiding difficulties. You have to think, is this difficulty be meaningful or meaningless? Okay, then how do you know is this difficult, meaningful, or meaningless? You have to think in many aspects, and temporarily or for long term. If there can be any condition for benefits for oneself or others, then yes. That's the one reason. The second reason, you should not always chasing happiness and pleasure. Why? Because happiness and pleasure is like rainbow. Like a rainbow. If you chase a rainbow, you never get rainbow. But if you are stay far away, enjoy to look at the rainbow, then it's beautiful. Same thing. So if you chase happiness or pleasure, you will have less happiness and pleasure. So therefore, in general, make yourself happy or make others happy is meaningful. But not always only that. Sometimes can be difficult, challenging, can be very good condition for long-term benefit, oneself or others. So that's why, if you not chase happiness and pleasure, that means you automatically making big conditions for happiness, for future, for yourself and for others. You know, for others means to benefit others. Why is so important? Because it's naturally for temporarily or long term this becomes the condition of your own happiness. More than happiness. More than just feeling happiness. But sustainable happiness. Perfect current condition happiness. Becomes like that. That's why it's important. That's why it's important. We bear with the challenges. That's why it's important discipline. Discipline is one of the Bodhisattva perfection because of that. Okay? When you have right or wrong, the concept of right or wrong, based on harmful or not harmful consequences. When you have this distinguish and then you follow this distinguish is a discipline, ethical discipline. Ethic and the discipline and the tolerance come together. Always accompany each other, which means directly instantly, maybe not you make happy, but eventually, definitely yes. That's why. But even instantly, most of the time do. So if you do the opposite, no discipline, no ethics, focus, narrow, chasing pleasure, chasing happiness, you get less happiness and more guilty, more regret, less confidence, everything. So that's why a meaningful life means being yourself, being disciplined, yes or no? If you've been disciplined for the cause of benefit oneself and others, but also oneself and others always have to be relevant. Never, there's nobody perfectly happy without others. Not exist. So you have to know that. Not exist. Then you may think, oh yes, I try really hard for other people, I giving, always people taking, they give me nothing. No, I have nothing to offer, I'm just empty. Huh? No, I'm empty, I have nothing to give. You know why you're empty? Because you had expectations and you didn't freely give it. You had expectations. So you did not meet that expectation. So that's why you are not happy. For a while you may be happy, but then eventually not happy because you did not freely give it. You did not know the depth of your own benefits. Your own benefits is always to link to the benefit of others. So you didn't know that. You separated too much. Oh, this I'm doing for others, this one I'm doing for me. When you separated, then you're like battery. You fill up battery. Huh? You fill up battery. So you cannot do it anymore. Certain state. But if you not separated, always see to benefit others is for me, for myself. If you understand that link, then you always be happy. And you're more happy and happier. So, this is meaningful life. If you analyze that, then always true. Always true. Why? Because there is no one single being in the past always have the unconditional love and compassion others, but then they suffer themselves. Not exist. And also not exist because somebody focus oneself all the time, but then perfectly happy until death. Also not exist. So this two is enough to look at. So we have to understand the link, others and me. Or simple way we can have to think about, we are speedy, that social animal. Social animal means our happiness relying with others. We cannot be perfectly happy by yourself and no contact with others. That's extremely hard. If somebody can do that, that means that being is exception. Enlightened ones, not normal one. Okay, somebody stay in the cave forever, never talk with anybody, include internet. Okay? No internet, no direct contact, any human being, any sentient being. Perfectly happy, that means this person enlightened. Okay? Otherwise have to be crazy and terrible, lost mind. Otherwise have to be enlightened. Cannot be the medium. Okay? Medium people need others. You need others is nothing wrong. But you need others to serve, to give, to share, not to take. Not to take. Instead, give and serve, share, these three, then yes. So then, that's the way of human beings how to be happy. So many people have pets. Okay? Pets is not good science. Okay? But I'm not criticizing every Western people or modern people. I want to criticize, include the lamas. Okay? I heard yesterday in my village, yesterday I told tutor. So, few people saw there is one dear baby born. And then they said, oh, we have to give a lama, Garganima. We have to give Garganima. Because Garganima looking for dear baby. So they took away and gave that lama. And then the baby is died. And the mother come many times and search. And they saw all this area become mad. Because mother thousands of times looking for the baby. So think about how sad is this mother. So how Lama do that? Think about the selfishness. Just I want a pet. That's the only reason. Okay? So that's incredible. Really. And the other people are so ignorant. They just do this. But the other people, we expect ignorance people. But Lama do this, unbelievable. Okay? So similarly, this, everybody will have pets, means you cannot share very well with people. So that's why animal little bit easier than human being, right? Why? Because animal can't speak. You can boss around more. An animal less complain than human being. So you cannot tolerate human beings complain, and you cannot offer and serve a human being. So serve the animals easier. That's why you keep it. One way we look at, people keep pets. That's so good, so compassionate, right? So some people, they save animals or they die and then keep them. Yeah, that's of course incredible good. But also, at least they're taken care as like a baby. It's nice. One way is nice, very good. Some degree, all of them I'm saying, I praise you. That's good. Good, there's some good degree. But also, if you would like to think more deeper, then we don't need pets. The human beings should be pets. Each other. Okay? That means we have more meaningful life. Why? Because you develop more. I'm not saying you expect all human beings perfect, okay? You know they're difficult, but still you have ability to tolerate. You ability to have forgive. Your ability give them lesson. Give them lesson. So that means lesson. Sometimes you forgive. Sometimes you challenge them. Sometimes you forgive. Sometimes you challenge them. Should become their lesson. So, and then at least you sharing something. The human beings, when you share more, then you understand each other more. So when you understand more, then you feel more sorry for them. When you don't know them, you don't feel sorry for them. You are angry with them. You see them as arrogant, pride, selfish, many things. But when you see more, they are angry, they are selfish, they are pride, because they have problems underneath. So they have kind of no choice. It's not their choices. So you realize this, then you feel sorry for them. Sometimes similar yourself. You see, similar myself. Sometimes, it's worse than me. And then you feel sorry for them. Then you easier forgive. Okay? So, many things. Many things. That's why it's very important human beings share. So this modern world is unhappy because there's no sharing. There's no sharing. So why there's no sharing? Because people love to their space, love to their freedom. Why they like this? Because you give temporary pleasure, temporary happiness, temporary peace, but damaging the subtle level. Damaging subtle level, which means you don't know how to love others. You don't know how to love others, then you don't even know how to love yourself. So why? Because you took this forced freedom, emphasized too much of this world. That's why. That's why meaningful life means how much my actions to benefit myself, to benefit others. If you always benefit others, or me, nothing, that means, perfect. Perfect means you have a benefit, the biggest benefit you have. Not exactly your version, what you thought, but far better than that one. Have it. But at least you mixture, I did this to the other people, and then I feel good. So that I feel that I'm sharing something. I'm a be part of something. I have identity. Even that is really good. But usually people wrong idea, if I have freedom wherever I want, then I'm happy. But that one is force causes of happiness. Force and true, we know distinguishing. The true one is subtle, not easy to realize. The force one is obvious, that's why it's tricky. Okay? So that's why. So true meaning for our life means, and deep down, you don't have to be excited, happiness all the time, but you are okay. You are okay, and underneath, you are quite stable. So that means far better than you just excite sometimes. Okay? So if you chasing for excitement, happiness, pleasure, that means you damaging somewhere underneath yourself. So that doesn't mean you are not allowed happy and pleasure, okay? You can have pleasure every moment, every single time, unless you have agony pain, okay? As long as you have no agony pain, anytime, every moment you can be happy. Why? The happiness comes from appreciation. Every breathing we can be really appreciate and happy. Every morning when you wake up, you didn't die, you should be very happy. Every night you go bed, I passed the day, I didn't die, you should be very happy. Not only didn't die, but even didn't sick or pain, So why? Because you can be anytime, you can have pain, sick, can be anything possible, we don't know. So we have to think about, we are just like a bubble, just little bubble. Anytime can be, any grass can kill. So if we think that way, then we have every moment we can appreciate. Every moment we can appreciate. So everybody living the same life, doesn't matter how look is great, but inside you have no appreciation, no gratitude, then you cannot be happy. Happiness is very simple, easy. And you cannot appreciate agony pain. Agony pain you cannot appreciate. That I forgive everybody. Why? Because we are temporarily on this physical body. This physical body is kind of like some ways controlling us. This is body. So that's why if you have agony pain, then you cannot really appreciate. But still, great practitioners, they had how to you practice the agony pain, how you appreciate agony pain, okay? That we not talk today. But other than that, everything you can appreciate in our life. And then is meaningful life. Meaningful life. So if you have huge vision and huge vision, intelligent, huge vision, and incredible courage, determination, then is unbelievable, lucky, fortunate. But even you don't have that, you have nothing but just every day appreciate to live and breathe in, and you can urinate, you can go toilet very easily. This is incredible, incredible, because think about machine, how this human machine, how it works. If that stops not working, what do you do? The hospital, you go hospital say they have no idea what to do. Then what happened? So, even we have hospital, most of the problems they can fix. Think about this. That's incredible. So many times in my childhood time, so many people died, include my father. They just have very little problem. If we go nowadays, we go hospital, you can fix one few hours. You can fix distance. They just die. So we just have to remember these things. But even we don't have to go hospital, or food and many things, then everything works so unbelievable. Don't you think? I always thinking like this. Oh my gosh, so good, unbelievable. If you like that, then it's meaningful life. But everything is people say, oh, this is awful, this is terrible, blah, 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 blah. Then there's no meaningful life on this earth. So this time we're doing a long life prayer and long life empowerment, right? Tomorrow. So why we have to do a long life? What's the benefits? Long life. Why important to you long life? So the answer is important long life or not? What do you do? It's not who you are. It's what do you do. So if you doing that appreciation, happiness, then is long life is very beneficial, because you don't want to lose this everyday happiness and pleasure. You don't want to lose that, right? Because the death is something unknown. For majority of the people, unknown or finish of me. So who like to be that unknown finish of me? Nobody. So that's why is long life very important. Long life, we can try to be better diet, exercise, go doctor, every year check. We can do these things, but can we do something else as well? The death is not just sickness. Can be anything. So, can we do something else? Then the answer, yes, long life enlightenment deities. Amitayu, all this Vatara, we are connecting with them. And then we pray for long life, not just me, but for others. Or who you think the most important should live longer people. We do for them so, and automatically the benefits ourselves also make longer life. But the longer life is only meaningful if you doing meaningful actions, you have meaningful attitude, you have meaningful motivation. So that motivation, attitude, what we have already talked. If you have like that, then it's very important. Live longer. Why? Because you live as pleasure life, and then you making good examples for everyone every day. So how can this one have short life? Definitely a better life. Better to live longer. But if you every day doing bad things and make bad examples every day, then should you have long life? That's, don't know, questionable. It's questionable. Why is it questionable? The simple way, yes, better to die this person. Stop him to doing bad actions, do bad examples. That simple way, judge, yes, better to die soon. But we don't know what they do after die. We don't know where this person born other places. Maybe they could be doing even worse. We don't know. So that case, even doing bad things, this person is, as long as there's more chance, can learn from the mistakes, and then still better to long life. Why? Because there is chance to learn from the mistakes. So that's why chance to purify, make clear away all the mistakes in the past, and to develop and set good examples for future. So that's why then it's again you have meaningful if you live long life. So that's why it's worth to everybody, as long as you have intention to develop yourself, transform yourself better and better. Okay, then yes, worth to have long life, worth to connect long life deities and prayer, receive empowerment. Yes, that's why. Okay, so maybe some people say, oh, nobody's bad. There's no better and worse. Everything is just different. That's called politically correct speak, but not much into the reality. So if you want to go that just surface, and then you can say that. You can say that. You can pretend that. But the reality, there is a good and bad. There is better and better. Why? Because more wise and wise, more compassionate. Compassionate and wise is not one degree. It's not black and white. It's have multiple layers can be developed. Okay? So that's why everybody has potential. That's sure. That is Buddha say. And that is sure. Everybody has potential. But you don't have to expect somebody's faster, somebody's slow. That's you cannot expect equal. But everybody as long as same direction, the speed important, but the direction more important. You not the wrong direction, you are the right direction, then whether you are slow or fast, anyway you're making progress every day. So which means simplify yourself, become more happier. Happier means every challenges you have less problem. You don't have to expect zero problem, but you have less problem, less difficulty, and you have more capacity. That's you need to develop. Everybody need to develop this. That's why it is meaningful life. Longer life is important. Especially if we are fortunate enough to study Buddha Dharma, the profound meaning, extensively, the love, kindness, compassion, the wisdom, the six perfections, and so forth, then is really, really important. We have lived a longer life. Such incredible treasure, even one day longer. So if we have incredible good vision for the world, and if we have courage to transform the world, then it's unbelievably meaningful life. Because the determination and motivation, maximum always better. Maximum. You don't need balance. The maximum is the best. Okay? So, then if we have golden age, transform this world far better than now. Okay? If we have that contribution, that is incredible, meaningful life. That alone, that single motivation is enough, regardless your capacity. As long as you have this single motivation and intention. Many people are stuck with, how that's possible, impossible, blah, 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 blah. That's useless think, possible. Why? Anything possible. Anything possible. Why you have to put the negativities in there and waste time and energy and waste life? Okay? So, anything possible. Why? Do you know? Because everything is impermanent. Everything is changeable. So then usually people have, no possible because never happened before. So that means you don't understand impermanent. Something never happened before, then never happen future. That's impossible. That's totally two different phenomena. You forcefully putting together and have to be same. No. That's very bad philosophy, very bad logic. Okay? So nothing to do, future is nothing to do with past. But future is more to do with present. Present means present, our attitude, our motivation, our action. This, yes, not to do with in the past. Okay? So that's why important have motivation this and have attitude on this. Okay? So then some people think, this is maybe I have no time. Maybe I have no time for golden age, transform the world. I die before that. That means the selfishness got you from the right direction and taken back away. Saying, oh, you, yourself, focus yourself, not for others. Focus yourself. Don't lose yourself. That's it. So that's very, very wrong. Never think about I have time before golden age, before transform the world. Do I have time? Do I have time enjoy the golden age? No. That's very, very childish. Okay? Why? Because when doesn't matter. You're not focusing how much you have time this life. Firstly, you don't know. Secondly, that is useless thinking. If you just motivate that alone take you the best place. Whether you are here or there or anywhere else, next life, this life, future lifetimes, this is how you start. You know? So when you think in something, this analyzing stupid logics put in the philosophy, you taken back from the start direction. So never do that. Okay?
Rinpoche, can you speak a tiny bit slower? The translators say you're speaking a lot faster today.
Okay.
You're just a touch slower.
Okay, I rest a little bit, drink, so then you have time to translate.
Just work like that.
When I enthusiastic, then faster. So what I'm saying is, if you want to have really meaningful life, your number one intention to change this world are far better than now. Why? Because this is an incredible, fascinating, pleasure way of living. Every day. So every day you have this motivation, determination. Then all Bodhisattva practices is you capitalized. Nothing is excluded. You already included. Okay? That's why it's huge, innumerable, immeasurable merits you accumulated. Then if you have obstacle, how is that possible? That is an obstacle. Never let come that thought. If comes, quickly throw away. Why? Because I said everything impermanent. Not just I said, I'm just reminding you. That is a simple fact. Simple fact. Not just Buddha said, it's a simple fact. Everything is changeable. Remember? Everything will change. Everything is possible. Depend how we motivate it. Then people think, okay, yes, but we are minority, there's such majority people, they don't do that. If you want to burn this whole forest, you better to start fire, small fire with match, Or you never start, oh, this forest is too big and I cannot burn with one match. Match? Yes? Match or lot. You wouldn't say that, right? Same thing. No matter how they are big, small, not just there. We all live ignorance very long time, been like this. But now time to waken up. And you starting, we starting, we are starting. So they eventually influence. Oh, that's not possible, blah, 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 blah. Waste thoughts, wasting time, waste energy. If somebody say, oh, no possible burn this forest because too big and blah, 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 it's wasting time, right? Yes, you easily burn the forest with small fire. Start from small fire. Same thing is wasting time and not possible because of God. Because in the past it never happened. So that's why past, future is not same. If I say, oh, I want to crush this jewel rock. I say, I want to crush this. Somebody say, oh, no possible, no possible. This I try many times to crush, but it can't crush. Of course, it can't crush. This is matter. This is rock. So similar, something irrelevant logic. So that's why. But important now our motivation and intention, the attitude. Oh, no possible, no possible. This is wrong attitude. Yes, anything possible. I'm fascinated with this. Wow. Everything possible because everything made from the mind. Invisible mind motivation created visible this world. Okay? So that's we have to understand. Then is easy. Then is meaningful life. Then is very important to live longer. Yeah? Live longer. So then, okay, so you say, oh, before you say die, doesn't matter. Die doesn't matter, I'm saying your motivation. Your motivation you had, then you are died. You never died, actually. You transformed a younger baby. It's not you died. Died means finish, right? Transform means younger. So, who don't like be younger? Younger, mature, not younger, immature. Who don't like younger, mature? You have younger mind, younger body, and mature mind. Who don't like that? Everybody like. That is the meaningful life. So we are so fortunate even to discuss this. How many people discuss this? Think about this. So I think even one time we feel very fortunate. That is a huge seed, huge potential to rise for future. Okay? So that's why we hear how we live a meaningful life. I have to say this. Most people don't even aware what is the meaning of life. Majority people don't know what is the meaning of life. Many people don't have even that question. Just lost in the surface. Then one day realize, oh, there's no meaning. But okay, you don't know, it's too late now. And then just depression, and then suicide, kill myself. You can't deal the pain. That's it. So, live longer life means if you are already doing action and attitude is right, or you have intention to transform yourself, then is of course better long life. But long life usually you set a good example. You already set a good examples, then yes. But if you not set a good examples, you cannot change. So then you can pray, may I die quickly and born different one. That's also you can do. Born better one. You can do that, no problem, if you choose that. But why? I tell you why. Because if you really genuinely long-term prayer to benefit others, then if you die quickly, definitely you born are beneficial. You are better one, definitely. But you didn't do long time, only just thought now, still better, but better than nothing. But you still need a little bit longer. Have this motivation and dedication. You need to be longer. That's why it's a long life important. Then I remember, even you are such bad and harmful, then better to die quickly. We think, but we don't know. After you die, also you more harmful, we don't know. So that's why. Better to learn the mistakes and live longer life. To learn more, learn. Okay? Only option, you have strong dedication to born a much better one. But this time, some reason you cannot do it in Portugal, then yes, short life, no problem. Otherwise, all of them need longer life. Okay, so now start again raining. So I leave here. If people have questions or any disagreement, we can discuss here. Fun. Okay.